What is going on, everybody, ladies and gents? Today, this is what I've been trying to do most of all day today. All right, Extreme Super Battle Road is just fucking rough, man. And this is coming from somebody who I'm not I don't spend an extreme amount of money, but I'd say my account isn't completely, dog shit either. Um, I've been trying to do this for approximately 2 or 3 days, Extreme SDR, and I wasn't having much luck. I was trying, so I'll put my old, I'll put the team that I used to use on screen. I was trying to run an SDR cooler team because he gave 170 to attack and defense, but I started to notice that there were a few units that I just couldn't put on the team, and I'll tell you them when I talk about the basically the MVP of this event and the key to winning, in my opinion. So cooler was great, right? The friend cooler would do absolute work. Demon King Piccolo would get that 50% support and greatly lower attack, so he was great. But you couldn't put Omega Shenron on the team, and you couldn't put LR Broly on the team. Now, LR Broly not being on the team isn't an entirely bad thing because his defense is so trash, but I started to notice that STR Super Boo and STR Fat Boo were incredibly just bad. They didn't have enough defensively in the tank to get it done, and I thought the key to that was going to be STR Evil Boo because he lowered attack by just by being there, got an additional super attack, and he had a high chance to dodge. However, that high chance to dodge just never activated for me, man. So I decided to go ahead and try this team here, running a Janemba 120 lead team, because this allowed me to keep Demon King Piccolo on the team, keep Cooler on the team, but I could bring in SDR Rose, Omega Shenron, and LR Broly. Now, LR Broly was just a throw-in. He's just there because I needed another unit, and I thought, hey, might as well put an AoE on the squad, right? He was going to be off rotation anyway. I was going to try to hide him as much as possible. SDR Rose, obviously everyone knows, is great. He gives 50% defense the entire rotation, lowers super type enemies attack by 20%, as well as giving 3 key to the rotation. This team links well together in its own. I had a few people's link levels up. Cooler's links are basically all 8, 9s, and 10s. Janemba's in the 5 or 6s along with Demon King Piccolo's. The new people on the team, Rose and Shenron, Omega Shenron, don't really have any. I haven't worked on them at all in the link levels. They were all level 1. But you're starting to see here the key to winning this event, if you haven't noticed. So our health isn't very high. It's only like 300, I believe 50k. So if you get supered by it, and if you get 2 supers in a turn, you're basically dead. However, I brought a friend. So Omega Shenron gives, I believe it's 4 key and 100% to extreme SDR types. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that one. But I brought a friend, Omega Shenron, who is rainbowed. Now, Omega Shenron in his own is extremely good. He gets 80% attack and defense. I believe he gives 2 key and 40% attack to full power category allies, which I believe counts with Cooler and with Broly. There might be a few others I can't think of. So, yeah, there's that. So, as you see here, Cooler finishes off Chaozu. That one was really easy because of course, the attack lowering. So we have the rotations we want now. And now you can start to see where this is coming in here. We have an Omega Shenron on each rotation because he is the MVP of this event. He is the key to winning this. And as you'll see, I came very close to losing this fight. But you'll be able to see why. Omega Shenron, especially Rainbowed, is so freaking good. He has big bad bosses. I don't know. I never checked what the friend's link levels were, but they had to be high. Because this Omega Shenron, the friend, tanked like a beast sometimes. So, the big key to why Omega Shenron is the MVP is simply because his link set's great, his attack and defense is okay, he's already a support unit for a few characters on the team, but he lowers enemies' attack by 40% just by being there. That's the key. So if you have 2 Omega Shenrons on rotation, the enemies are 40% attack down at all times. And as you'll see here, Piccolo is going to super Omega Shenron here. 50k, a 50k super. That's mostly because Rose is here, so he's giving 50% defense to the rotation. And Rose also lowers super type enemies attack by 20%. So their attack is lowered by 40%, and then it's lowered by 20% again. So their attack is pretty much decimated, along with a bit of a defensive buff here for Shenron. This is the key to winning Extreme STR. I cannot stress this enough. Easy A Omega Shenron, and you will have pretty much the MVP of this event. Now, I do know that you do need dupes for these. For example, I have a Rainbow Janemba, I have a Rainbow STR Rose, Demon King Piccolo is at 90%, LR Broly is at 69%, and my Omega Shenron is also at 79%, I believe. I can check here in a second. But, and then of course I put Cooler on the team. My Cooler's at 55. I had to get him, I got him in this newest summon. Cooler is obviously, like, you know, like everyone knows what Cooler is. You know, everyone knows how good Cooler is, bro. He lowers attack as well on Super, so that's even better. So, you know, it just gives, you know, someone a bit more of an attack lower. And then of course Demon King Piccolo, you know why he's here. He gets the 50% buff from Cooler, and he greatly lowers attack. He also gives himself Ki. We know why he's here. I also have him at 90%. As you see, Omega Shenron will barely not finish off Piccolo, but as you see here, you know, I'm not running any defensive items, and we're taking 20k per normal, just because of how decimated their, you know, the enemy's attack is. Like, they just, it's just so, like, it's so key to lower their attack that, like, I almost don't know if you can beat this without Omega Shenron. There's a lot of extreme STR units that lower attack, but 40% from Omega Shenron is just massive. I did pull STR Cell as another card you could use for this event. He might be better to use than Broly. I just didn't use him because he's not Dokkan Awakened for me, and Broly had one dupe into him. But Cell gets, you know, Cell gets defense. He can recover HP on his AoE attack, and he lowers enemies' attack by 20%. So that would be another card on the team that would lower attack. If I lost this run, I probably would have Dokkan Awakened Cell and put him on the team instead of Broly. But take a look here. We've already decimated Gotenks' attack so much that he's out here hitting Shenron for 37k. And the cool part is Omega Shenron gives himself 80% defense, and with Rose on rotation, he now gets an extra 50 along with an extra 20% of attack lowering. So Shenron, with Omega Shenron on the team, he's hitting decently hard. He's basically tanking in his own right. He's so fucking good. My Omega Shenron is at 65%, so I don't have another dupe for him, unfortunately. But I do have him fully easy aid. I can't say more, right? I can't say more about how good this team is. As you see here, Cooler is going to transform. A big key, I think, if you can't beat this with this team, because, I don't know, say your Janemba's not rainbowed, say that you know, your Demon King Piccolo, maybe you have all these units at 55%. I'd say a big way to fix that is link level up this team. My link levels were very bad with Shenron and Rose, but Cooler had a high link levels. But just get link levels higher, because most of these characters have big bad bosses, which allows them to get 25% attack and defense, just, you know, no health restriction, which will help a lot, especially with Janemba and Omega Shenron, who really rely on that defense. I mean, it helps with everybody, of course, but same with Rose. For example, a lot of cards on this team have Metamorphosis, which gives, I believe, attack and defense, and it recovers HP upon linking. That is a big link that you can level up as well. Of course, all the villain links like Nightmare, Fierce Battle, Brutal Beatdown, Shocking Speed, Prepare for Battle. All those are prevalent on this team to level up. I believe Thirst for Conquest might be on this team as well. But you see, we're rolling. We are pretty much rolling through the first two. We smoked Gotenks and Piccolo, and we smoked the Z Fighters. But this is where it gets hard. Not because, you know, something ends up going wrong, but just because we have a bunch of items, and the enemies are just, like, this Vegeta and Trunks are so insane, bro. And that's not even talking about the last fight. So we're going to go ahead and, I put Shenron in the first slot. I put Demon King Piccolo in the second because he has more defense than Rose. But I use an attack heal up here, mostly because I know that we have double attack lowering, and Demon King Piccolo will also lower he will also greatly lower the attack of the person he attacks. So, depending on if I guessed this correctly, that will be the one. I do believe I guessed it incorrectly because Vegeta supered here. and I greatly lowered the attack on Vegeta instead of Trunks. But look at that, 42k, no defensive items active. And I believe, was that the 100% Shenron? I don't remember if that was 100% Shenron. Demon King Piccolo's also good. Yeah, that was the 100% Shenron. Tanks a super for 42k, no items active, dude. That's insane. Demon King Piccolo tanks for a little bit. He did take a little bit of damage there, 83,000, but compared to what he would have taken without the attack lowering, it would have been an astronomical difference, bro. It is insane how much attack lowering makes a difference here. Rose is just such a difference maker. If I can give you any advice for these runs, I'd say to not fall into the trap of trying to run the cooler category team. Just use Janemba for the 120. You know, a lot of these teams for Extreme Super Battle Road, you can beat them with a 120 lead. And just, you know, find people who have some weird gimmicks. Shenron lowering the attack by 40%, as I accidentally clicked my recording button there, is just so key to this that you have you have to bring him. That's pretty much all I can say. Is bring him. As you see here, my Shenron was tanking for double digits, and he did take that super attack for 100,000, and I thought I was gonna die here. But still, that was just with Omega Shenron on rotation, and then Vegeta had his attack greatly lowered. So that would have done a whole hell of a lot more damage if I hadn't had the attack lowering. And you see, lowering the attack is vital for this event, mostly because since I'm running a 120 team instead of a category team, your health is just naturally going to be lower than, say, a category team, because Broly's the only LR on the squad. I believe Shenron's the only EZA character on the squad, so your health isn't going to be that astronomically high. It's less than 400,000, 350k. As you see, we almost die there. You're gonna basically need some sort of, you know, high level of defense, because, you know, you can only survive, especially against 5-man Super Battle Road fights. You can only survive maybe 1 to 2 super attacks before you're done. And the 2-man stages, if they super twice, you're dead. You know, there are times where I will use defensive items, and I will just get one turned with an Icarus active, or with a defensive heal active, or with a Whis active. It just depends. You know, you need Omega Shenron on that rotation to provide everyone that crutch. Now, Shenron does get hit here for 120k. As you see, we're starting to lose all the attack lowering, but at this point, we've done so well throughout the event that we have items to spare, and that's another big key. The attack lowering will help you get on a good start, so if you end up having trouble like this event, like I did with this event, you have items to spare. You saw Piccolo crit there for 1.2. Demon King Piccolo is a sneaky good unit for the Super Battle Road stage, mostly because he greatly lowers attack, of course. His defense is high. He has good links, decent links, and he gives himself ki. So, sneaky good Demon King Piccolo card right there. He did crit for a lot. As you see here, we did get rid of Vegeta, which greatly helps. As you see, I'm delaying using an item, because I had already used 2 items this fight, and I knew that we would need, that I have a Dokkan mode coming up, and I knew that those 3 items I would need for the last fight. And little did I know, I was absolutely correct, because if I had used that item, if I hadn't, used that 3rd item in the last fight, I do believe we would have lost, and that would have made me extremely triggered. I might have thrown this phone out of the damn window. But Trunks, I did use an item because we had Omega Shenron and Rose on rotation, as well as Transform Cooler. Like, we're not dying this turn, buddy. Alright? We have 2 lowering the attacks, 50% buff, as well as Cooler's insane defensive buff. And I knew that he was going to crit on this Trunks for a maximum Dokkan mode heal. So, all I'm saying is this team has, the big lesson that I learned was category teams give you the stats buff, yes. But when you have a team like this that has so much synergy and so much defensive and offensive power, that you might as well run it in the 120, because it's such a good two-way team that has so much good synergy with key, links, everything really, that you kind of just have to run it. So if you're having trouble with this event, Omega Shenron is the key. I'm sure most of you would know that by now, right? I'm sure most of you are bringing Omega Shenron, because of course you know. The thing is Janemba is just so, I don't want to say bad, but Janemba is replaceable. It's just he gives you that 120 leader skill. If you don't have Janemba, you might be able to get away with it because Shenron gives you 100, so you're losing out on that extra 20%. But you could bring another unit instead of Janemba who can actually tank. I can't think of a unit off the top of my head right now. Who else you would bring? Maybe like LR Full Power Frieza if you're a whale. I don't know. Maybe Super Boo if you really want to test the waters. Another thing about attack lowering here is that when you use damage reduction items, attack lowering will pretty much turn those damage reduction items into Nurse Chi-Chis because you're taking nothing. You're taking no damage whatsoever. And a big thing as well is when you have so much attack lowering, that provides just the amount of cover so you can hide LR Broly off rotation. And I think LR Broly is worth using despite his defensive woes because the team lowers the attack so much. Because yeah, I could have brought someone else. I could have brought Super Boo, who lowers the attack more. I could have brought Android 21, who lowers the attack more and recovers health. I could have brought Easy A Cell, who is probably ideally the one you want to bring because he gets defense, attack lowering, and he recovers HP, as well as he's an AoE card. But my Cell was a 55%. I just pulled him like 2 days ago off of the top grossing tickets. I didn't have him before, so that's why I didn't bring him. I didn't feel like using the stamina to grind him up. But anyway, as you see here, I'm not sure if I should use an item or not, but I decided to go ahead and do it anyway, just because I had been running this stage for 2 or 3 days at this point, and I had died so many times with items active, so I figured using an item couldn't hurt, just to guarantee staying alive, and we'll continue to pound the damage in on Goku. Couldn't get a super attack with Janemba. It's not that big of a deal, but it's also kind of a big deal because, Janemba at least will provide over 1 million attack stat damage on someone like Goku, who attacks so much that getting him out as quickly as possible is worth it. Vegeta does super here, so that item was justified because I took 30k. I did have a Whis active, so I would have taken a whole lot more without the damage reduction item, but the double item I think was worth it, just to, at least tank a super attack much more than normal. As you see here, this third fight, or this last fight, is where you're going to need the items. This is why I didn't want to use that third item, because Goku supered here. I believe we get lucky, right? Yep. That dodge was super key. If we hadn't dodged that super attack, I think we would have died this round. So literally, obviously, you need a certain level of RNG to win, obviously. But we got so lucky this round with dodges and tanking and item usage. But even then, bro, Omega Shenron is such he carries the team, man. And like I said before, this last fight is really rough because there's 3 enemies who attack an absolute fuck ton. They do a lot of damage, and getting Goku out as quickly as possible is key because he attacks so much. Now the cool part about it being Goku and Vegeta is that if I could get Goku out or I can get Vegeta out, but I can still leave one of them alive so Cooler can transform at the end, because Cooler needs a Hybrid Saiyan or a Pure Saiyan enemy starting from the 3rd turn in order to transform, as you see right here. Because in the first fight there wasn't that, so Cooler couldn't transform until the 6th turn, and there needed to be one enemy as well. So always remember, getting Cooler's transformation is also super key because guaranteed crits against Saiyans and Pure Saiyans are just absolutely unrivaled. Alright, Cooler is borderline one of the best QRs in the game. He may not be the MVP for the stage, but rocking him alongside Omega Shenron is definitely the key to victory, as I use another item here just to be safe, just because I see that Goku's attacking a whole bunch, and that just in case, something happens, he supers, I have full health and defensive items primed and ready. However, I will get Goku out of here. You did see he took, Cooler took 31k there, so Goku, all of his, negative effects have worn off, so getting him out as quickly as possible is big here. That's kind of why I had Cooler attack him despite, losing out on that crit on, say, someone like Vegeta, just because I needed Goku out of there. Look at how many attacks that reduced by, Now getting Vegeta out of the way as quickly as possible is key. We do crit there. I wish I could say it was smooth sailing from here on out, but unfortunately it wasn't. The big thing about LR Broly is that you won't have a bunch of attack lowering on rotation every time. Since I put him off rotation, he's not with Rose all the time. He is always with an Omega Shenron, but you always have that one chance of him getting supered after him losing defense, like right here, and he takes 188k, which is a bit much because now we have 2 enemies left, no items left, and yeah, they're both low, but one more super attack and it's over. We're done. So this run came extremely close to death. As you see here, Piccolo does super attack on Shenron. He takes 97,000 and we are barely alive. 2 million for Shenron as Big Bad Bosses activates. Omega Shenron is just the GOAT. He finishes Vegeta off. Thankfully, Piccolo's attack is so down that we took double digits because we literally have 5,000 health left. I was going to be so angry if we didn't win this, if we died right there. We are going to greatly lower the attack on Piccolo, and I was really nervous about not finishing him off here because then I would have had to, roll the RNG dice again on the next turn. But we do finish him off here. We do win Extreme STR, Extreme Super Battle Road with literally 5,574 health to spare. Barely in there, but we beat it at least. So that's another Extreme SBR stage down. This is the first one I'm going to post on my channel. And I have a bunch more that I have finished as well. Not all of them, but holy cow, bro. If you're having trouble, just use STR Easy Omega Shenron, dude. He will make everything easier for you. Guaranteed.